Hi guys, and welcome back to SITENG. In today's video I'm going to show you the drawings for capping beam construction, and that's going to be very interesting as I'm going to show you the two GA drawings covered by different designers. So we're going to have a look how different people providing the information on the drawings, and I also show you the general arrangement for the ground floor slab and explain why you need all information below capping beam, at the level of the capping beam, and all above, so you're going to be able to construct it very well. And please remember, this is the video covering my construction video site for the capping beam, guys. And one more thing, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn the notification. If you like it, just leave the thumbs up, leave the comments, tell me what else you want to know, if that's enough information for you, or maybe you want me to cover something else extra. Yeah, so let's go. So guys, first of all, I'm going to show you our ANC drawing folder I created first thing, and you can see I created here folders as pile testing, as we're going to need it, pre-pour inspections, you're going to need it too, cube results, and as builds. As now we go into the more interesting thing, we're going into constructing elements. So these things we have to cover, we have to keep an eye as well. In the drawings, I open capping beam, as we're going to be doing capping beam, and later I'm going to open a new folder. But I also open a drawing register folder where I'm going to be keeping drawing registers. We want to make sure we know all the drawings created by the designer. And once, obviously, we're using the drawing platform, but we want to make sure that we got all information. And first drawing we actually need is the drawing register. And I downloaded here a full drawing register for one designer, and you can see all the drawings the designer made for this, which is, you can see most of them preliminary, tender. So it should show you the latest revision as well, but the best we're going to be using a drawing platform for the latest revision, as this drawing, actually this one might be updated on the weekly basis, and we don't know that. But this one you need just to make sure you got all information in terms of a drawing titles, in terms of a drawings themselves, like building section sheet 1, building section sheet 2. So for this, now there is only 2 drawings covering the block A building sections, and that's what you need. And if you won't find it in the drawing platform as A-site or wherever platform you're using, there is somewhere, so you need to ask for it, or you need to look for it deeper. So that will be first thing. You want a drawing register in which you should find each drawing covering the structural part of your construction, drainage, and everything really. So drawing register will be your first drawing needed now as we start in constructing elements. So the second drawing, the most important drawing actually now, after drawing register, we're going to now to the capping beam. We're going to start from block A, as this is 2 designers, as I said before, and I'm going to be showing you two drawings, which is very interesting really, because you can see as 2 designer covering the same job really, and what differences you can find, and how the information is provided by different designers. So this is very good. So I'm going to show you block A first. As you can see, I opened this folders here as well under block A, which is GA general arrangement drawings, which would be the first one, the very important one. And then we're going to go sections, elevations, details. I put RC here for the reinforcement, for the rebar drawings, and the services as well, as we want to find out and we want to make sure we got all information about the services incoming into the building, as this might be actually a clashing or come through our elements, through our capping beam in this case. So first I'm going to start from GA anyway, and in this case, guys, I want you always, as we're talking about capping beam now, but once we actually doing the capping beam, we want to make sure we got information about what's on the ground floor level, what's on the capping beam level, all information what's below and above. Obviously above we're going to be interested in the columns, which actually are not shown on this GA drawing. We're going to find it on the ground floor drawing. So we want to know information about the ground floor, information about the basement, and about the liner wall, and that's what we need to know when we constructing the capping beam. So you can see the drawings, it's covering again all that block A area here, same as was for the piling as well, as you can see on my last video. So as always, we check the latest revision. This is a temporary capping beam, not updated. So all that stuff you can go through it, have a look what was updated, and if it's for construction now. So you see it was still in 19 T6 was tender 6. So even the tenders was revised, but it's construction now, and we are good to go really. So we got information here. This is enabling works, called enabling works, the project number, and then we're gonna go here for the notes. All concrete, as you can see here, maybe all concrete to be C3545 DC4 in accordance with the specification. UNO, we know this is unless noted otherwise. Reinforcement to be grade B500 in accordance, and this is cover to reinforcement to be 50 millimeters in accordance with the specification. But cover drawing, we're gonna double check on the rebar drawing, because this is actually 50 mil, but bottom of the capping beam gonna be 75 mil cover, as you can see later on the rebar drawings. And so we're gonna have a look at the legend as well. This is interesting. You see horizontal penetration. So this is the penetration marking here, refer to liner wall elevation drawing. So that looks like this is through the liner wall. We're gonna double check it. That would be good information for us. And actually, I can tell you, in this case for block A, it was all below the capping beam soffit. So at this level, it's really good for us. It's maybe a little bit worse for the guys doing the liner wall later. So we know now we got information. It's a 12. It's a millimeter, so that's the small typo I think, but it's 1200 millimeters deep and 1080 millimeters wide capping beam with contiguous pile wall and RC liner wall on inside. Of course, we got a small setting out plan for services, so we can compare this later with the services drawing as well. And we're going to check the liner wall elevation, so we're going to make sure this is actually all services incoming below the capping beam soffit. So we got all this information, concrete grouting, okay, but this is not the detail we're going to be doing now. You can see here it's a elevation drawing here as well. So you can see this is below our soffit. This is our pile here, piles, and this is our capping beam here. If you would look at the capping beam in the front, so that's the elevation, and that will be like looking from the top. So what I can, typical liner step detail section, yeah, so that's what I told you as well in one of my construction site videos, as you're going to be marking the lines and you're going to be cropping the piles. Mostly you got information about the steps in top, and that on the GA drawing, that should be the dashed line here. As you would look in from the top on the capping beam, you wouldn't see that line obviously, so that's the way you show in the line below the surface. This is the dashed line, so, and that would be actually the line which you're going to be interested in doing all the soffit steps, as this is going to be created later after all reinforcement is done. This line going to be later marked for the shutter, just to create a step on top, but you need to know what's happening below, as this is the first thing you're doing. So that's the GA drawing here. We got all that grid lines, all information as we see before, and you can see the coordinates are here. So that's the first important thing for us. We got the coordination, the capping beam coordination, so we are good to go. We got all the corners. Yeah, we got corners of this one. Yeah. So in terms of setting out, this is actually the first information we need to make sure we have it. So we got it. We are happy to go with the setting out. So we're now good to go to lines. As you can see, as you could see on that legend, the capping beam is 1080 wide and 1200 deep. So deep means the height of the beam, and you can see here the information is quite okay, as well as we can have a look here. We got the pile cutoff level at 45,115. So from this point here, you see that's the dashed line I just mentioned just a second ago about the step in the soffit. From that dashed line, the level changes. As you can see, this pile cutoff level here is 44,915, and in this case 45,115. So this is 85. Yeah, this is 200 difference here. So that's going to be, when you're going to be cropping the piles, that's going to be your step in the soffit. So these piles have to be cropped higher, and then you need to mark clearly for the guys that they're going to be steps. So I show this on my videos as well. I'll try to mark these things on the hoarding and just big lines, spray lines, so guys know they're going to be changed. An actual change in the beam, on the top of the beam is here. So you can see here we got actually dimension of the grid line MJ1, we got dimension to the step, while we don't have dimension to this one. So that's going to be typically, as that section showed, 2 piles, but we're going to try to get this information maybe even from the CAD drawing, or we're going to just probably go by that typical section. So guys, I would say the drawing is quite alright. We got setting out, as I said, we got pile cutoff levels marked, which is quite good. We don't need to check it, double check it with the piling schedule here. We can obviously they're going to be, the projection of the piles is 75 mil, so we can always double check it, as this is 46 to 40 top of the capping beam, and I just let's quickly check it. So we got 46 to 40. This is the top of the concrete. As always, top of the concrete is marked. You can see TOC, that means top of concrete. So plus 46 to 40. Now we know the depth of the capping beam. So this is minus our 1200. So this is the soffit of the beam, 45040. And then what I said in terms of cutoff level, the projection of the pile is 75 mil. So plus 75, that should give us 45115, and that's exactly what we got. You see 45115, and this is our cutoff level. So if you got the cutoff level here, or we got the top of the beam, we know now that our blinding level, which is the soffit of the beam, is at level 46040, 1200 lower than this one. So that's the information we got from this drawing, and that's the information we can mark for ourselves, and we actually have to mark it. And in the last video covering the capping beam, I just remind you and I tell you what to do, how to mark the drawing for yourself, so to make your life easy, really. So guys, I think for this drawing, I would close it now. I think that's it for this information, for this drawing. We got the sections here as well. So we know now the designer showing us the sections here, the section, it's a number 3 on drawing section number 2000, which I'm going to open in the minute as well. But I'm going to show you the second drawing, the second J for block C. So guys, if you got any questions about this one, just don't forget to leave the comments, and I just respond as best as I can. And I'm going to show you now capping beam for block C general arrangement, and that's how it looks. So you can see now, as before, for the piles, this drawing is divided in 4. So you can see here actually on that legend drawing 32, 31, 33 and 34. So we know we're going to have a look at the 4 drawings. Obviously once we go, we don't need all the drawing as we're going to be doing the capping beam partially, but it's good to print them all and have a look. So we're going to be checking the information here, the latest revision. Yeah, so this is C6. We need to make sure this is the latest one. So as I said before, we've taken from the platform drawing, that's obviously going to be the latest one, and we know now, even from this one, this is for construction. So we got some notes, he's piling notes, we don't need them, we checked them on the last video. So this is probably the same, the concrete notes. These are actually the same as before we had a look in the piling video. So I'm not going to be covering this again now. Design RC40 unless noted otherwise. All reinforcement, but obviously steel and concrete, these have to be confirmed with the client, and all the specification have to be approved. So you see the legend here denotes wall compression, it's 140 kilonewtons per meter, denotes 600 millimeter piles, so denotes existing side levels. This denotes 3.3 on drawing, so this is the section as well on drawing number 35, the section number 3 denotes side boundary. So as I said on the one of the first drawings, you need to you want to go through the legend, because on the legend you can actually see what the designer wants to show you. So once you're going to be here somewhere, you're going to be wondering what that means. This is actually, the loads of explanations are here in the legend. You got the lighting protection mark here as well, denotes lighting protection, pile reinforcement and reinforcement column above refer to cuttings drawing. So we know we're going to be looking for this drawing here. In terms of position for the lightning protection. So yeah guys, let's have a look here if you got all the information as well. First of all, in terms of setting out, so yes, we got, so same as before, in the corners we got the coordinates now. So that's all we need. We need the 2 coordinates for the one line here, one long line. So that's all we need. We got the columns here as well on this drawing here. The first designer shows us all capping beam on one drawing, but he never shows us the columns. And this is, maybe it's not confusing, but obviously you know there will be columns, but you need to now compare with the ground floor drawings. That's why I said you always need the ground floor drawing with you, so you can know where the column's gonna be. But if you use only this drawing for the capping beam, you would probably never even put the columns, because you can see there's nothing showing the columns here, but there will be columns. And as you can see, this is on one drawing, information is quite okay, but on this one, this is split in 4 drawings, but you got information about the columns here, which is actually better, because you're looking at the capping beam drawings, you know there is something. There is some upstand here as well. You see these 2 lines. So this gives you more information on the plan, and this is better really. Especially if you got no experience, you're gonna take only the capping beam drawing, you can miss it. You can miss these things. So this designer shows you this way. So as I said, this is very interesting. 2 designers, 2 ways of showing the drawing. So actually in this case, once we have columns here as well, we don't need actually the ground floor drawing, because all information is here now. Obviously we're going to double check as well if these drawings correspond with the ground floor drawing and which one is the latest, just to confirm which one we're going to use for the setting out of the columns. So as I said, we got a setting out here for the corners of the beam, and we got the information now for the columns centers in this case of the grid lines. So with grid lines, we know we have, I think that was my first video covering the drawings as well. We're looking for the setting out information. We got 350 by 350 columns, so we got information about the size of the columns. We have a penetrations here as well, and in this case you see we got 2 times 325 diameter ducts, invert level 45-300. So in this case, actually, if you have a look, top of capping beam is 45-225, and invert level of these 2 is 45-300. So we know now we don't need them while we're going to be doing the capping beam. We don't need these 2 ducts. For instance, this is 45-300, 45-225, so these 2 ducts, invert level, so that means bottom of the duct, invert level, gonna be above our top of concrete. But it's not gonna be always the case here. As you can see here, the inverse change 45-525, 45-535, and the top of the capping beam in this case is 45-875. So you can see here, it's around 300 difference between the top of the beam and the invert level of the ducts. So these ones going to be actually installed in our capping beam. So this is very important information for us, especially if we have to order these while we're going to be doing maybe more senior engineering job and stuff like this. But 100% we have to make sure we're going to mark the position, and we're going to make sure they're going to be installed. The raising main here as well, so this has to be probably installed as well. 45-8-7-44-3. So that's gonna be below. But you can see now some of the services coming through the capping beam. So this is one of the most important information for us. I think that will be all, guys. As I said, if you got any question for this drawing now, for this designer, just leave the comment. Let me know what you want to know, and I'm gonna explain this. But this is the basic information we have. We got a setting out. We know there will be columns. We know there are going to be services coming through the capping beam. So the information is quite alright. And always the general arrangement, the GA drawing, will be our first one. So we need to make sure we actually have it in our head, I would say. But definitely you need to have it printed and all the time with you, so you can refer to it all the time. But this is quite a lot of information. You see, we got lightning protection, we got columns here, we got services coming through beam, we got top of the concrete levels, we got sections as well here. You see here, that's the information as well here. Section 16 on drawing number 35, as we had a look in the legend. So from this point here, actually, you see, from this point to the corner, and actually it goes here. Section 16 on drawing number 35 goes actually to this point here. So there will be section, and we're going to have a look at this section. So the information on this drawing is quite okay as well. We don't need anything more. Obviously, we need to refer to other drawings to make sure we got all information, guys. And as I said, there was no drawings shown on the drawing for block, on general arrangement for block A. I just quickly show you the capping beam from block A, as I downloaded this as well. That will be a GA drawing for the ground floor, and obviously we actually gonna need the GA drawing for the capping beam on block C, as well, as we want to make sure what the ground floor slab will be as we connecting with the slab. Actually, you always gonna need the ground floor drawing, even if you got that columns layout, you're gonna need the ground floor drawing to make sure you got the slab thickness and the slab levels. As in this case actually. So first of all, we know now we got a setting out for the columns. So we know there are going to be columns here on our capping beam. You can see that line, dashed line, as I said before, the dashed line showing something that the step in the soffit or something below the top surface. So that's, yeah, so that would be the step here on the top of the concrete, but that dashed line is a step in the soffit. So same here, that one of these dashed lines, so this is actually internal dashed line, that's going to be our capping beam, and this dashed line is the liner wall. So actually our capping beam goes up to here, just in this case in temporary condition going to be poured back to this line, but then later all this with it is our 1080. So we know there will be columns here, and we got actually information on this drawing. Yeah, so this is actually quite alright. We got, for instance, column C5105, and once we go here to the setting out, C5105, yeah, C5105, it's a 300 column by 1 meter column, and we got the center of the column, which is not the best really, the center of the column, but we're gonna manage this. We can also use the CAD drawing as well, making sure that center of the column is actually in the right position. On that drawing for the block C, the information was better, as it gave us the information, the dimensions of the grid line. Then we know we can make sure this is all right. But this is not that bad actually, and we can still help ourselves with the CAD drawing, making still sure the center of the column gonna be there. So the next thing will be, and I'm gonna show you this on the sections as well, this information. So we got 600 RC slab, and the slab level is 46,390. So this doesn't have to be always the same as the top of the capping beam, and we need to be careful at it. And at the same time, this tells us that the slab here meeting our capping beam going to be 600 deep. So that means whatever starters we're going to use, or the quick strip we're going to use, the soffit of the slab going to be 600 below this level here. Obviously this hatch line shows our 600, so 600 below, so 46,015 going to be soffit of our slab. So once the slab going to be meeting the capping beam, we need to make sure all the starters going to be at this level plus the cover for the reinforcement. So yeah, that's it. So we would have, I would say we got all information for block A. And also in this video, as I promised, I'm going to show you the sections and the elevations as well, maybe. So guys, I actually wanted to show you on this video the sections as well, but it's getting longer and longer, these videos, so I want to keep them a little bit shorter. So in the next video, I'm going to show you the elevations, I'm going to show you the sections, and if we're going to have enough time, I'm going to show you also the rebar drawing. If not, I'm going to make another video, as this is quite important, and it has to actually take a little bit more time to understand and you take information from these drawings. So just maybe to quickly back here, we got the column rotation is in line with the local grids. Schedule sets out the center point. Yeah. So podium capping beam RC column schedule. So yeah, we got all this information. I showed you the width. We got the length of the column, easting, northing, and obviously we then jump into the rebar schedule to make sure we actually installing the right rebar, which is the most important in installing the columns really, and obviously position as well. So setting out note, all capping beam upstands are set out to grids unless dimensioned otherwise. Okay, this drawing is intended for the construction of contic piled wall and capping beam only. For other elements refer to separate drawings. So actually it says, you can see here, this is for the contic pile wall and capping beam only. So for other elements refer to separate drawings. Enabling works. Yeah, so that's level 00, but enabling works. So this actually, we can actually check on our drawing register, as this might be another drawing showing the ground floor slab, but in this case actually they say this is for piled wall and capping beam. So we have to use it actually with our capping beam, and we got the information for the columns. So we actually alright. I'll try to have a look, but I didn't see any other ground floor drawing for it. But that's all information we need at this level. We got the capping beam information, and we got the ground floor as ground floor slab thickness and the column information. I'm gonna go back quickly to this one. That was quite good. All the information here. In the next video, we're gonna have a look at the sections. We're gonna come back quickly to this one, and I'm gonna show you the section, which is very important and very interesting. As you can see, you have to have it all in your head. You need to know how it's going to be looking, and the sections are really eye-opening and very interesting. And we're going to go through the details as well and all the stuff ending on the rebar. So just going quickly back to this one. Yes, guys, so I think that will be all in this video. I think it's actually quite longer than I was thinking I'm going to make it, but it was all basic information, so you need it. So I'm going to make another video showing the sections and all important details, and also I'm going to show you the rebar. So probably there are going to be 3 videos covering the capping beam, but this is very good, I would say, as you got 2 different designers showing actually the same works in their way. So you're going to see the different way, as this is important. It's not going to be always the same, so you need to know where to look information for. Just to tell you now the pile cutoff level was on this one, but we don't have the cutoff level for block C here. So that's how we have to sort our levels. We need to take the top of the concrete minus the depth of the capping beam and plus 75 millimeters projection. But this is unless we don't have any other information. And we're going to check, and we're going to see in the next video how the designer is showing the details, how the designer is showing the elevation, and we're going to have this information on other drawings. So in this case for block C, we're going to find this information on other drawings. And as you could see for block A, actually, you had this information on the GA drawing for the pile cutoffs level, but you didn't have information about the columns. So you can see, you can expect different stuff while different designers covering the job, really. But that's how we engineers all the job. We need to make sure we can get this information, and if it's not enough, we need to make sure we're going to RFI for it. We need to ask questions. We're going to collect all information, and we're going to be good to go to keep the job running. So yeah, guys, thank you again for watching. Just don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave the thumbs up. Turn the notification, as this really helps to grow this channel. And yeah, see you next time.